Hello, boxing aficionados. This is Stacy Dash, and welcome to N.W.J, the world's most dangerous boxing page. At a time where truth is dangerous, Jay pulls no punches. So get your hands up and keep swinging. And don't forget, subscribe. Peace.
Yo, just saw an interview with John Fury, Tyson Fury's dad, and Derek Chisora. Now, the common thing I'm hearing online is that Derek Chisora did better against Oleksandr Usyk than Anthony Joshua did, which I kind of agree with, although Usyk's face looked more messed up after the Anthony Joshua fight. But they're talking more about the pressure that Derek Chisora put on. He was pressuring Usyk the whole time. I think it was a smaller ring too. I noticed the night of the Joshua-Usyk fight that the ring looked rather large, and I thought that would present a problem for AJ, and it did. I think that made him tired, chasing him all around the ring and the constant movement. But John Fury says the corner was the problem. I got to agree with that. They're just telling, from what I heard, I didn't hear much, but when I did hear, it sounded like they were just telling him to jab, like I said before. If that's not working, you got to flip the script. You got to make adjustments. That's what the corner's for. And ever since the debacle that AJ had in New York against N.W.J, I think sometimes when he gets hit, he panics, even if he's not hurt. I think he's starting to panic like, okay, I don't want it to be, a repeat of that. So he's got to have a corner that can calm him down. And like I said, James Ali Bashir is the disciplinarian trainer. He'd be great for him. Tommy Brooks, he'd be great. They can calm you down, let you know you're still in the fight, tell you what adjustments to make. But you got to have a guy that's in there that knows how to talk to heavyweights. A heavyweight fight is a lot different than the lower divisions. Just like in the Olympics, it's more tagged in boxing. You touch, you get points for the scoring points for the white part of the glove. And in professional boxing, it's not looked at like that. But what do you guys think? Do you agree with John Fury that it was AJ's corner that lost in the fight? I mean, you got to blame the fighter too. He's got to know. AJ doesn't have that much experience, but it seems like he would know what was working and what wasn't. But I guess he's just, in the heat of battle, he's not able to figure out what is going to work. He knows what isn't working, but he doesn't know what will work. So you got to have an OG trainer in there, a veteran, And I just think Rob McCracken's time is up. I think it's imperative that he gets a new trainer in there before this rematch with Usyk, and I think he'll do that. AJ and Lennox Lewis aren't really getting along from what I understand, but I noticed AJ says a lot of the same things as Lewis, so I think he studies him on the low. So if you're going to study Lewis, look at when he got rid of Pepe Correa and brought in Emmanuel Stewart. You have to find out who's the closest thing to Emmanuel Stewart right now. And Sugar Hill's taken, but, I'd rather have James Ali Bashir than Sugar Hill. I'd rather have that. He worked with Emmanuel Stewart. They didn't agree on everything, but he was right there. So James Ali Bashir knows the boxing game. And I agree with Eddie Hearn. I watched an interview Eddie Hearn did, and he said, just keep it simple. Like, we overthink things. And he was talking about that AJ was overthinking it. And that is usually what solves a tough equation. Keep it simple. One thing doesn't work, you got to try some different things out. You don't just keep saying, well, man, it should work, so I'm going to keep doing it. If it's not working, you got to try something different. And something else I want to talk about, I think we're living in the a new golden era of heavyweight boxing. Some people think the heavyweight division isn't, that great. I mean, compared to the 90s, I take the 90s any day over this. But still, I think we'll look back on this time and be like, they had some special heavyweights back then. Usyk is special, Fury's special, Joshua was special. Wilder is different. And, you got another, the B-level fighters, the Dillian Whites. Dillian may not be an all-time great, but he definitely gives you interviews that you won't forget. He gives you press conferences you won't forget. Derek Chisora, he's known for his antics at press conferences. So it's just a more exciting time than it was when the Klitschko's took over after Lennox Lewis's reign. So I think we'll look back at this time and be like, man, those were some special guys. I mean, I remember back when Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield, and them were fighting. People weren't too fond of that era. They were like, they want to talk about the Ali and all that. But, looking back, you realize how special it was. And that's kind of how life is, We look back at the past and make it better than what it was, and we don't see what's in front of us is great too. It's not the same, but it's great too. So, like I said, I agree with John Fury. I watched the interview that Peter Fury did too, and he was saying how things could be corrected. He didn't want to give it away for free since, he's a trainer and he's not getting paid to. I guess he'll tell AJ if he gets brought on board, but he's not going to give it out for free. The game is to be sold and not to be told. You better ask somebody. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. That's my thoughts on the matter. This is N.W.J. Make sure this page takes off like a car with the brakes off. How do you do that? You subscribe. Know what I mean? Pow.